What's up, guys? I'm doing something that I've been talking about doing for a long time, and I'm going to start filming some yoga classes. I'm going to make them free to the public. So this is really the whole idea behind this EveryMan yoga project. Is I'm trying to create a atmosphere where more people can feel, open to being able to do yoga. Rather than being scared away by the language or movements that they think that they can't do. So this is the first class. It's going to be a 20-minute practice. I'm going to post it on Instagram, probably post it on my blog as well at everymanyoga.com. And I'm curious to see what you guys think, if you think it works. It's totally an amateur rig. We bought some lights and stuff recently, but I'm just doing what I can do. So yeah, this is my first stab at trying to really do something that I've been talking about doing for a long time. So hopefully by trying out this class in the privacy of your home, you can feel a little bit more comfortable walking into a yoga studio, whether it's for my class or for somebody else's. So let's just kind of get it moving. So just as an introduction, my name's Cameron. I've been a yoga teacher for about 6 years now. And I am just gradually trying to make this into what I do for a living. So if you are new to yoga, I should make it clear, you don't need a yoga mat. You can use a towel or something if you want. You just use a carpet. I would definitely recommend padding your hard floor. If you're using like a hardwood floor like this or a tile floor, put some kind of padding underneath your knees. I'm sitting on a block currently. If you happen to have a yoga block laying around, you can use that for some of these seated postures that we're going to work through at the very beginning here. A folded up blanket or something like that, or will work just fine. So what we're going to do is just get started in a tall seated position. We're going to jump right into it. So it's going to be a warts and all approach, so we'll see how it goes. So just start with your eyes closed, sitting up as tall as you can. Just begin to notice your breath. If your environment is anything like mine, you can probably hear the ambient noise. There's some girls here at Steamboat Pilates and Fitness that are practicing for the upcoming dance. So it's good to have a little bit of distraction. Just focus on that and think about it. Think about what's happening in the environment around you. And then just bring your attention back to your breath. Relax your belly, feel your belly expand over your belt line as you inhale. Just see if you can keep it nice and soft like that as you exhale. Again, if you're practicing at home, there's nobody around to judge you. Just let your body be and just accept it for how it is today, right now. And then just go ahead and blink your eyes open once again. Maybe take a little stretch to one side. Lengthen your spine with your inhale. Use your hands to twist and just gently look over your shoulder. Inhale back to the middle, little shoulder shrug, and then with your exhale, just twist to the other side. Inhale, long spine. Exhale. So just take a big stretch overhead, maybe a little side bend. Check out the position of my wrist. So you notice when you turn your hand up like this, if your shoulder feels kind of funky. Maybe try doing it the other way. So with your palm facing down, a little pull with the opposite hand. And then just do the same thing on the other side. Maybe test out that same range of motion. Just see how it feels. So the position of your shoulders can pretty drastically influence how you feel. Same thing, reach your arms out to the sides, just make some little circles. See if you can relax the tops of your shoulders a little bit. So drawing them down and back, spread your fingers really wide. Turn your fingers down. And pulse your hands forward. So again, we're in that same shoulder position now. So if this hurts your shoulders and they want to do this, it's just like a dominant position for your upper traps, which it's pretty common, especially if you're a stress-prone person. So Maybe pulse your hands up. And just until you start to feel a little sticky in your shoulder joints. So notice that it's a little harder for me to straighten my elbows completely here. And then if I let it loosen up a little bit, it starts to happen. So nice and slow. Just bringing a little bit of movement into your body. However it feels appropriate. Knuckles up, bend your elbows, and then lift your chest so you're kind of gently tilting your head back towards your hands. And then just shake your shoulders out. Okay, let's come to some basic floor movements. We're probably going to spend a lot of time on the floor today since this is kind of a trial run with the video, with just doing this online practice. So we'll do some very basic movements. So one very important thing to focus on when you're starting your yoga practice is wrist health. So we're just going to start with some basic wrist stretches. So for this first one, just bring your hands down, spread your fingers really wide, and just place your palms down on the floor. So just kind of lean into your wrists a little bit. Keep your arms mostly straight, see how your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists feel. And then maybe try to change this position a little bit. So walking your hands in a circle, chest up, maybe a little lean back. Play around here. So maybe you want to try bringing the back of one hand onto the floor. So notice I have the back of one hand down, the top of the other hand down. If that's too much for your wrist, bend your elbow. You can also lift the heel of the other hand. Just try and match what you do on one side with what you do on the other side. Now you're going to notice that your breath kind of tends to get a little hitch in it if you start doing something that's really difficult. So part of the yoga practice, arguably the biggest part of the yoga practice is breathing. So find those big inhales, big exhales. If you find yourself in one of those positions that's hard, make sure you're really emphasizing the exhale. It's your body trying to relax. So let's go through a couple more wrist movements here. So just bind your hands together. Sit back on your feet so that your feet are kind of getting a little stretch here too. The tops of my feet are on the floor. Just bind your hands together in a big fist. Just make some little circles. So we're just getting some movement through those synovial joints. Just a little movement here. If you want to try moving your neck around a little bit, bring your elbows closer together, bring them farther apart, see how that influences the movement, and then try going back the other way. I can't even tell if I'm going the same way twice, but okay, and then shake your wrists out. So, first position, tabletop position, hands and knees. The first movement we're going to do is called a cat-cow. So, the big inhale, just lift your chest up towards the ceiling, dip your belly button down towards the floor, and really stick your butt out. With your exhale, round your low back. So notice I'm pressing back from my hands a little bit here. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, round your spine. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift your chest, drag with your hands a little bit. Exhale, round your back. And then come back to a neutral position. Left hand stays down, reach your right hand forward. So handshake. Try and bring your bicep up by your ear as best you can, and then just reach your left leg straight back. So notice when you draw your belly button in here, when you really engage through your core, your low back doesn't sag as much. So part of what we're focusing on here is getting your core engaged to assist your low back a little bit so that if you settle out, your back doesn't hurt as much. So find that position, draw your belly button in as much as you can, and try and flatten out your low back. You can even put your hand on the small of your back like this and push into your hand slightly, and then find that position again. Inhale, reach a little bit longer. Exhale, touch your elbow to your knee. Inhale, reach, belly stays engaged. Exhale, little tap. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tap. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, hand and foot down. Tops of the feet on the floor. Slide your knees all the way together so my knees and my ankles are touching. Just press the tops of your feet down, lift your knees 1 inch off the floor. This is a surprisingly difficult movement. Just do what you can do. 3, 2, 1. Knees down, walk them apart. Left arm forward, right leg back. So come back to those big inhales. Again, draw your belly in. Back leg is straight and long as best you can. If you have a little bend in your elbow or your knee, that's fine. You know, you're not always going to look exactly like me or anybody else. Draw your belly in a little bit more. Inhale, reach a little bit longer. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Exhale, tap. Inhale, reach, lift everything up nice and long. Exhale, both hand and knee down to the floor. Tops of the feet down, this time knees wide, set your hips back down on your heels. So, very basic stretch for your low back. So just relax your forehead down onto the floor, stretch your arms long, so this is a nice stretch underneath your armpits. Just relax the back of your neck a lot. Slowly lift your head up, look up between your thumbs, spread your fingers really wide. From here, you're just going to shift your weight forward, come to a plank position. So legs are straight, a little bit of rounding in the upper back, and I'm really pushing the floor away. Now this activation, drawing your thumbs together like you're trying to squeeze your mat from the narrower ends, squeezing together a little bit, actively engages your pecs. Push the floor away. So I'm kind of doing this. Now, last piece, don't let your head dip down. So if you're prone to this position, we're going to try to get here. So drawing your chin down towards your throat, drawing the back of your skull up and back towards the ceiling. Legs really straight and strong. Inhale, lean forward over your fingertips, and then exhale, lean back. Keep your arms mostly straight here. Just a nice, gentle little rock and lean. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lean forward. Now, as you lean forward, keep holding it. See if you can bring the weight a little bit more into the thumb and pointer finger. So my hands are turned out more like this rather than turned in this way. This is the way that most people are going to start. So if you need to take a second to readjust your hands so they're turned out a little bit, try and do that. Okay. Stay there for 3 more breaths. So think 5-second inhales, 5-second exhales. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and then with 1, just walk one hand forward, walk the other hand forward. So you're in a longer stance with your arms now. Lower your knees down to the ground, lower your elbows down to the floor. So my hips are all the way down. Now from here I'm finding this little dragging motion. So pressing my fingertips down, spreading them out, lifting my chest as I pull. If this is a lot for your back, try walking your elbows forward a little bit more. It's just minimizing the degree that your back is bending down here. So a little pull, fingertips, lift your chest and just kind of drag. So lower body's mostly soft. You can engage your glutes a little bit to protect your low back as well. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, find a little pull here. You should feel a lot of engagement in your middle and upper back. Take 2 more breaths. Each exhale, a little bit more of a drag forward. Inhale 1 more time. Exhale, pull. Now from here, just slide your elbows back. Lift onto your knees, and then lift your knees off of the floor. So you're in a plank position. Once again, you're on your elbows this time. So if your shoulders hurt at all, you can bring your hands together. I really encourage you to try and make your arms even, like you're making an 11 rather than making an A with your hands. Push the floor away a lot. Round your low back. So as I tilt my pelvis, I'm drawing it towards my chin. So rather than getting into the saggy position, lifting my low belly away from the floor. Straight legs. Find some engagement. Last piece, once again, draw your nose and your chin away from the ground a little bit. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. Once again, take a child's pose and just relax your whole upper body. So take 5 breaths in that child's pose. Take note, if your hips are really far off your heels, that's totally fine. Just do what you can do. So just try and press back gently. If you have any tightness in your knees and hips, it's not going to go away immediately. You need to work on this stuff for a while. So just a couple more breaths here, and then we'll move on to some more movement on the floor. Now, just like you did before, lift your chest, slither your body forward. This time, lower your belly all the way down to the ground. Walk your knees in, squeeze your ankles together, and lift your thighs off the floor. So, this movement, trying to squeeze your knees together, it's actually quite difficult. Squeeze knees, ankles together, lift your heels up, lift your thighs off the ground. You're going to feel your low back engage a lot. Inhale. Now with your exhale, draw your knees all the way apart. Try to keep your chest lifted just a little bit. Don't press too much with your arms. You're really light in your hands. Lift your heels up 1 more inch and draw them apart just a little bit more. A lot of engagement out here. Inhale 1 more time. Lift your thighs 1 inch off the floor. Now with your exhale, knees back together, straighten your legs. Legs totally engaged. Notice my knees come off the ground. Now, thumbs slide down to about the base of my rib cage. Big inhale. And with your exhale, press up just an inch or 2 off the ground. Just 1 big breath. Exhale, lower back down. We'll do that 1 more time. Knees up, big inhale. Exhale, press up for 3, 2, 1. Knees down, press all the way back to a child's pose. And then lift your knees and hips up to a downward facing dog position. And just bend and straighten your legs a few times. So if your heels are popping way off the floor, that's totally fine. You're just working on your flexibility. Again, just like the thing when you're in child's pose a minute ago, if your legs aren't straight, that's fine. Your heels are off the ground, that's fine. Try and bend your knees a little bit. Lengthen through your arms like you're really pushing the floor away as if you're going to do a handstand or something. So pressing up and away. My hands are still in that same good position with my pointer fingers pointing slightly out. Wrap your elbows in. So rather than kind of bending your elbows out to the sides like this, notice that when you change the position of your hands, it changes the position of your shoulders and elbows as well. This allows you to press your chest back and extend a little bit longer through your upper and lower back. So hold that position for 1 more breath. Inhale. Now with your exhale, just set your knees down on the floor. Okay. Left knee stays down. Take your right foot behind you and extend it long. So notice my back foot is flush with the edge of my mat. Little bend in your elbow. And just like you did before, keep your weight on the inside edge of your thumb and pointer finger. So, reaching your hand up, draw your belly button in, lengthen your spine, so just reaching the crown of your head up towards the front of the room. Now reach your right hand up towards the ceiling. Now, you're using your left leg as kind of like a kickstand, so you can kind of slide that ankle out a little bit, and then just lift your right leg off the floor. Spread your toes out really wide, lift your ankle up as high as you can. So, try not to collapse down anywhere. Try and find some lift. Get a little bit lighter on that left hand. So, not putting a ton of weight into it. You might even be able to come up on your fingertips. If that hurts your hands, don't do it. Now, last piece, turn your right palm forward, extend your arm over your ear. So that same karate chop position we were looking at before. Lift your leg a little bit higher, reach a little bit longer through your right hand. Now last piece, turn and look up underneath your armpit. Take 1 more big breath. And then bring your right hand up, lower your right hand down, lower your right knee to the ground. 1 cat-cow. We were already here, let's do it 1 more time. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, round your back. Let's switch to the other side. So, right knee stays down, left leg back. Outside edge of the left foot's flat down on the floor. Reach your left hand up. So notice, you can see from this side, I'm drawing my shoulders down my back rather than shrugging them up towards my ears. Lifting my chest. So you look up to the side, you can look down if that feels better. Push the floor away, put the weight in the thumb side of your hand, and then lift your left foot off the floor. Just take 5 breaths here. And you're going to gradually transition into the extended position, turning your chest up. Lift the leg a little bit higher, reach the arm a little bit longer. For 3, 2, 1. Bring it up slowly. Set your hand down with control. And then set your knee down on the ground. Sit back. This time reach your hands back. Grab your heels with the tips of your fingers. And just find a little pull here. Even if your butt's up in the air, pull a little bit. It's a nice stretch for your low back. Nice and slow, just begin to roll your spine up. Again, tops of the feet are down on the ground. You can lean back a little bit, nice little stretch for your feet. If you can't quite lean back, just put your hands on the floor. For 5 breaths, start to walk your hands up your thighs, shoulders back and down. Relax your jaw. A lot of tension in your jaw most of the time. Now see if you can lean back just a little bit more. Roll your shoulders back just like you did before. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lean back. Maybe lift one knee up. Maybe try lifting the other knee up. Maybe both knees off the floor. I'm using my hands to kind of help me out here. If you can't quite do this, don't be ashamed of that. This is not an easy thing to do. Inhale one more time. Now with your exhale, gently set your knees down. So, see if you can do this without using your hands. Swing your legs, cross your ankles, extend your legs out in front of you. Shake them out a little bit. So, a little variation of a forward fold. So most of us are used to doing this thing where you struggle a lot, you can't quite get your legs straight, and you don't really do much that way except just strain a lot. So let's work on this a little bit. So press the backs of your knees down towards the floor and pull your toes back towards your face. That's step one. Now, you can either crawl your hands down your feet. So notice I'm kind of leaning from my hips rather than just rounding my back a lot. Lift your chest up. And then maybe just grab the sides of your legs. If you're wearing shorts, you can grab your calves. Pull yourself forward. Find a little lift through your chest. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Now with your exhale, draw your belly in. See if you can fold down from your low back like you're trying to draw your chest and your throat towards your toes rather than the top of your head. So inhale. Exhale, fold. One more time, big inhale. Exhale, fold it in. Maybe you can reach out and grab something a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold it down. And then just relax, finally, forehead to knees. Nice and slow, roll your spine up, bend your knees, slide your heels back, soles of the feet down. So, a little bend in the elbows for this one, so making sure you're not locking your arms out. Chest lifts, so find this little engagement between your shoulder blades. Lift your chest up towards the ceiling and then just lift your hips up. So this is a reverse of the tabletop position that we were already in. Rather than finding yourself slumping down with your shoulders creeping up towards your ears, lift your chest away from your shoulders. Press away. A little bend in the elbows. As you lean forward, you'll feel a nice stretch in your biceps. So inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, sink forward just a little bit. Squeeze your butt. Lift your hips up 1 more inch. Lift your chest up 1 more inch. Really roll your shoulders back for 3, 2, and 1. Once you lower your butt to the ground, just cross your ankles. Coming back to a seated position, you can use the block or the towel that we used at the beginning. So, nice simple sequence. When it works in your low back, a little bit of glute strength. If you have a strong butt, it helps your back not hurt as much. It's a pretty key principle of yoga. Sit up nice and tall. Let's finish with a couple final breaths. As you sit tall, just try and really relax everything through your neck, your shoulders, your chest. Find that nice, relaxed breathing pattern once again. All right, thank you guys for joining me. Leave comments if you want to see any more of these. I look forward to doing some more, so thank you for your time and your energy. Namaste.